maybe tell me kind of how big it is, kind of some employees, just kind of give me some context and how you
Yeah,
started and
so
things.
it's really like just me by myself. I don't have any employees. I don't have any systems. I don't even really know my numbers right now. It's pretty like a disaster, you know. A lot of that is, I would say, a lack of resources. It's not an excuse. I mean, you have to gain those resources over time. But I started about 3 years ago. You know, and now I'm at the point where I burnt myself out the past few years. I've dealt with some, mental health issues and stuff like that from burning myself out, running the business and having a daughter, and I'm a single parent. So, but I want, I'm very big on the business aspect, and I want to grow, more than just, a one man team or even one team. I have a lot of big goals and dreams, as in, with the business and real estate, all that stuff. So, um,
Okay, cool. Do you feel like sometimes you get frustrated because you have the big goals, but like you feel like you're not making any
yeah,
headway on those?
that's one of the biggest issues, is that because I feel like I just feel like I'm different for some reason. Like, I'm very big on like this kind of the same stuff you're on, like working out, eating clean, stuff like that. A lot of people, I take things very serious. I've been through a lot. I have a history. I've actually been to prison twice, so I have a history, and I've changed my whole life around and became a totally different person. But that is because of the knowledge I gained from people like you. From it's just you have to obtain that information, and I've grown so much mentally, spiritually, and physically, that I know what I can bring, what value I can bring to the world. But it's difficult when with lack of resources, and then you're owner operator doing everything yourself, and down here it's 100 degrees, so you're burnt out, and just a lot of stuff going on, that it's like I try my best. I mean, I'm some mornings I'm up 5 a.m. in the gym, then I go to work, I eat oatmeal, stuff like that. So it's like actually last year, I like the past few years, I dealt with a lot of kind of like addiction issues, and a very deep depression, honestly, just because of me and my child's mom separating and stuff like that. So that's took a toll on me, because I sacrificed. I don't have a family anymore. I have issues with loneliness and stuff like that. So, but I keep pushing. And that's the thing about it, and like um I just got a settlement check for a car accident and stuff. So now it's like I've been at the point, but now like I'm clear headed. I want to move forward and get the ball rolling. I already have plans of getting the trailer done, because I don't have my trailer wrapped right now. I want to get that wrapped. I want to get a website, and I want to dig deep into the business and learn. And the past few days I've been telling myself, like because I used to work like 5, 6 days, 7 days a week, and like, oh, I don't have to pay anybody, I can save money. But like I'm just learning I have to leverage that. I have to learn how to leverage that and sacrifice. But with my numbers, right, like I don't even know my numbers, but I know like I'm not making any money. I know I have to raise prices. There's things I know I need to do that I'm procrastinating on. Like you guys say, you don't do that. You have to just push forward. So that's what I'm working on now. But then it's like, okay, I'm working in the field all day. I don't like I have to find somebody to try to type up the email for me to send the raise prices, and then I'm not tech savvy, so there's just so much stuff that I don't have any like friends, because I separated from all those people because they were not who I want to be around. So it's very I would say difficult situation, which I'm gonna push out of regardless.
Mhm. Okay. And so right now, do you kind of see it as you wanting to grow the business and just
Yeah.
not really know having the confidence just because not knowing the numbers and things?
Um. So like, no, it's not that. It's just I don't know where to start, because I don't have any resources. Like I don't have nobody to like, hey, like, do you have some, like, I feel like most successful people, everybody has that go-to guy that they talk to, or somebody, that pushes them here or there. It's like it's very blank for me. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I pay people to
So,
talk. Go
mhm.
ahead, sorry.
So right now, what do you charge per hour?
Honestly, it's not really an hourly rate. Like the price averages from my minimum now is $100 a month monthly to like 200. But the thing is, like, so down here in Florida, like it's April through November is weekly service, and then November through was bi-weekly. So that's like 42 cuts a year. And then like, so some of the cuts, like if I do it by myself, it takes me like 15 to 20 minutes, some even 10. So
okay, so let's see here. So
at $100 a month times 12, I mean that's like $28 a cut at 42 cuts.
Yep. So, yep. Okay. And how many lawns do you have now?
I do a little over 50 a week. A month, yeah, month.
And so are they, so basically 50 properties total, I'd imagine then, right? Around that?
A little over, yeah, around 50.
And you've just been kind of hovering there for the past year or two?
Yeah, exactly. Off and on, lose some, gain some. Yeah. And that's what's, aggravating, because I want to quickly grow to like 100 so I can bring on somebody full time, because I don't have any payroll, any of that. I don't even pay myself, dude. It's pretty bad right now. And I've had it's like the lack of resources. Like I had an accountant, I sent her the information, but she hasn't gotten back with me. And I've done this. I've taken days out to where I try to speak to 3 or 4 different accountants, but it's like it's I don't know. It's like you have to be in a certain point, I guess. Like a lot of people these days do not want to help you, so it's difficult,
So right now, what do you pull in per month? I would imagine somewhere around $5,000 a month, $6,000.
Yeah, it varies. I looked at my bank statements because QuickBooks is a disaster, but from January forward, it was like 34K, and a lot of that is like miscellaneous stuff, and like I take cash out, I'll pay a guy, lately I've been paying this guy, like last week I paid him $200 a day just to work, but I squeezed in like 2 days in one, so we finished the week in 3 days. But if I pay him, just say $2,400 a month or even more, I wouldn't make any money. So my bills wouldn't be paid. You know what I mean?
Yep. Okay. So right now, how much do you think per month you need to make just to live? Like $3,000 a month, like personally? $4,000?
Yeah. Maybe 3,500.
Okay. So right now, what's kind of keeping you from the number side? Are you using a software? Are you using QuickBooks? How are you billing your customers?
So I bill them through QuickBooks, but like I just don't know where to start. Like I've looked into LMN, and they're expensive, especially for my league. It's like I just don't know where to start, dude. Like and I just don't know what to do, honestly. I mean, I want to know my numbers, but I don't know where to start.
Like I would really recommend either Lawn Pro or Yard Book to get started with. They're very, very simple, cheap, very cheap to get started with too. Yard Book they have a free version, and really just trying to get all the customers in one place where you can email them from there, you can bill them from there, you can see your reports and know your numbers a little bit more. Because really, I would like to see you more around the $8,000 to $9,000 marker per month before you actually go hire someone. And having that revenue is going to give you the confidence that you can afford to pay someone full time. Because I imagine you probably need to pay someone in your market about $15, $18 an hour at least, right?
Easy.
Yeah. So, I think the main thing is, like, honestly, your pricing is not crazy terrible if you're doing the lawns in 10 to 15 minutes. If you're doing $28 per cut, like, yeah, it'd be nice if I was a little bit higher per cut, but honestly, it's not way off. It's just a matter of getting more customers, right? So like right now, what are you doing for marketing?
Nothing. And that's the thing, I was always weary of my history, because I'm, I talked to the guy at Lawn Care Web Design. I was telling him about that. He's like, there's ways to go about it. The best thing you could do is just reply to it, but I was always somebody, looked me up or something. He's like, but nobody would do that if you didn't give them a reason. I'm like, yeah, but that was always in the back of my head and part of the procrastination, but now I'm like, screw it, I'm pushing forward. So with this settlement check, I'm getting the trailer done. I got this guy doing a website, I want to do Lawn Care Web Design, but I mean, honestly, it's like that's I don't know, that's just expensive, I would say,
Yep.
But I feel like the value that it would bring would be better than what, like, this guy's telling me he'll build me a website and it'll be like $30 a month just for the to be there, but he's gonna do the SEO for one-time fee. I don't understand that. See, stuff like that, it's like the lack of resources. Like, I don't know if he's like, is he going to bring the same value that you guys bring? Or is that just like, and he's telling me, because the accountant gave me his information and she has, I guess on the first page of Google. So I don't know. It's just all like, I don't know much. So.
Yep. Yeah. Like, honestly, there's people who built big businesses without a website, right? So to think that a website is going to be the thing that launches you, like, yes, there are people that have websites and it gets all of their leads, but traditionally it's not what gets them started, right? Like, you need the momentum. And right now, like with your 50 lawns, I don't see any reason why you can't get to 100 lawns by doing door hangers, door knocking, talking to people. And yes, there is a level of like kind of putting yourself out there a bit, right? In the community. And if you do start a website, but at the end of the day, it's like, look, you've changed your life. There's nothing to be ashamed of. And you're trying to do things the right way now, right? And so, like, I don't think even any money right now in your situation, I don't know how much that settlement check really is, but the dollars spent now need to be effective. They can't be just blown. And honestly, I would probably tell you, website is not your number one priority right now. Your number one priority is just getting more customers. And if for $1,000, you could go and get a whole bunch of door hangers and yard signs and canvas the neighborhoods, knock on doors. That's what's going to get you from 50 to 100 very quickly.
The thing out here is like everybody's doing that. You said, like, okay, if you raise your prices, what's your value that makes you be able to raise your prices or separate? So like the reason why I want a website is because I'm at the point I want to separate myself, because a lot of people look at you, oh, this person can do the yard for this. I don't care, and with me being a one-man guy, I'm already, at the lower totem pole because I don't have 3-4 guys coming out, so it's, I just want to separate myself the best I can and be as professionalized as I can when I, so when I pull up to the property, they know it's a business and not just a yard guy.
Yep. And do you have the capital though to grow? Because the reason I'm kind of wondering is because, look, if you did get a website up and it's pumping out a bunch of leads towards you, now you're gonna have to go higher. Now you get a truck. Do you have that ready to roll? Because otherwise you're just gonna get flooded with leads and
well, I have like 8,000 in the business, and then I have a $60,000 check.
Woo! That kind of changes things.
Yeah, that changed my life, honestly, dude.
So that changes everything, right? I was thinking a couple thousand, right? So at 60,000, this is a matter of using that money to do exactly what you want, right? Exactly. And having a plan for that, right? So I would 100%, obviously I'm completely biased. I would recommend Lawn Care Web Design, because you can afford it at 60,000, even if you used it for a few years and then you went and paid someone 10,000 to build one that you owned yourself or something like that, like that'd be fine. But you do need a great website. But the matter of fact, you can, with 60 grand, you can go out and get a truck and equipment and grow very quickly using advertising, right? Whether it be advertised on Facebook, etc. The bottom line is, I would imagine, based upon what you said, you don't really know how to like run Facebook ads, Instagram, nothing like that.
Yeah, and my assumption is, like, I feel like, like I love learning, dude. Like I'm audio books, 40 laws of power, all types of stuff, So like, okay, maybe when I have that free time to dig into that stuff, I can. But at this moment with me, especially being in the field by myself every day and my daughter, it's like I have no leeway to dig into that. So, I want to gain that freedom to where I can dig into that and dig into other things. But I feel like at this point, I don't know what you would think, but it's a better way. Maybe I should try to sacrifice and just try to leverage it to somebody at a minimal rate or something. I'm not sure.
What do you mean? Say that part again.
Just like Facebook ads and stuff, like, all that stuff. But I think like certain stuff like that is simple, like Google business and taking pictures. I just have to put in a little work, take pictures and stuff like that, which I want to work on.
Yeah, because like this is how I would look at it if I was you. I would look at, because like right now I fear that if you went and spent a whole bunch on, even if you knew how to do Facebook ads and you knew how to do Google ads, I would fear that you'd spend that money, get a bunch of leads, and then you're going to do unprofitable work, and it's going to be growth to the point that you hire the wrong people, et cetera, et cetera. What I would look at if I was you, instead of looking at marketing as the way that you're going to grow in terms of ads, right, online, if you went and built a website that's going to separate you from everyone else, create an actual brand, like what's the name of your company?
All Pro Landscaping.
All Pro Landscaping, right? Do you have a logo?
Yes.
Cool. There's not a website, is there? Or do you have like a Facebook page or anything?
Nope.
No. Okay. So, create you have the logo, get a great website, and then I would invest in the fact that you're going to go hire someone far before you even need them. Like right now, you don't need a full-time person. You don't have enough work. But if you went and hired somebody that was really good, you paid them $18 an hour, whatever it might be, and they were with you in the truck, and instead of taking 8-10 hours to get your job done, you got done in 4 or 5 or 6. Within the next 3 hours, both of you were doing door hangers, you were out talking to people, you're out getting more customers. But now when they get that door hanger, they're going onto your website and like, oh, like this is a professional company.
Exactly.
That's what's going to separate you from everyone else. I feel like that would be more sustainable than just you throwing gobs of money at Facebook and Google, getting a whole bunch of leads, because in this regard, you're going to have sustained growth in a market that you want, because you get to determine where the door hangers go, right? The 60 grand on between a website, buying another setup, hiring somebody, and advertising is gone, right? How we spend that is whether or not we're going to be able to turn the business from 50 lawns and 60-70 grand a year in revenue to easily get that past $250,000. It's a matter of where we spend that money, right? So like when we start an Augusta lawn care franchise from scratch, like zero, we spend 90 to 95,000, and that's including 2 trucks, a trailer, $20,000 in marketing, a general manager, a couple employees, right from day one. So you already have a big leg up having 50 customers, your own equipment. There's just no reason why with 60,000 you can't really improve change your life, like you said, and change the business dramatically. So if I was you though, I would look at investing that money as hiring someone before you really need to, knowing that's going to give you the time, because right now you're working fingers to the bone every day anyways. That's going to go give you time to actually go grow the business.
Got it.
And in doing so, you learn, okay, while I'm out working, I'm going to listen to a podcast about creating Facebook ads. I'm going to watch, videos on creating Facebook ads. It's not rocket science. It's very simple. Same thing with Google, right? They made it very easy to run ads. It's a matter of literally you following along with a YouTube video and you're fine. Is it going to be perfect? No. Is it worth paying someone $1,000 a month to do it for you? No.
And that's like one thing, like you said, you're worried. Okay, I'm gonna take on a lot of low profitable work, and that's the thing. Like I'm not about, because for years I've done that. I'm still doing that. I want to get into the more higher end, high profitable lawn care. And cleanups and stuff like that as well.
And that's what your website will do. It will give you that latitude to move into more services, because right now you are the lawn care mowing guy. When you create a website where every single time they come to your website or they see your card or your flyer or whatever it might be, they're seeing all these other services. Now you're putting them inside of a software like Yardbook or Lawn Pro, and you email all of them and tell them, when it comes fall season, you're saying, hey, we're doing leaf cleanup season. Oh, now it's spring. I'm doing mulch installs. So it's a way to be able to keep in contact with all of them. Because right now, like if you talk to those 50 mowing customers you currently have, I guarantee you some of them have other contractors coming on their property doing work you could be doing.
Yeah, exactly. I have a customer who had some sod laid down. The yard was already graded. They just put sod down. I'm like, okay. And she was already talking to me about it. And that's where I feel like the branding or I feel like it's like she doesn't respect, or doesn't trust what I can bring to the table. I could have done that with my eyes closed and did a better job than what they did, honestly.
So in that regard, knowing that you have that money set aside, I think you're on the right track. Getting a website to separate yourself. And then the next step really though, Trey, is getting an employee. So that way, instead of you getting home and crashing, you spend an extra 15 minutes putting the data into Lawn Pro, into Yardbook, whatever software you choose, because that's really how you're going to scale the business. Like, that's why I'm worried about saying, oh, like, let's just go do a bunch of ads. You're going to get a bunch of customers and it's just going to lead to more disaster and more chaos, because now you're just juggling more things in your brain. Right now, you're handling 50 mowing customers in your head. And go ahead.
What's different from QuickBooks to Yardbook or Lawn Pro?
Yeah, the difference is that inside Lawn Pro Yardbook, you're going to be able to keep track of the customers, have their notes, but furthermore, route them, put them on a schedule, make sure that they're an optimized route throughout the day. So it's not like you're just driving all over the place. You're going to be able to keep notes for every visit. So when you show up to the property, it shows the notes for that visit. So if you have an employee, they can just read the notes of what specifically is supposed to go on. Again, all that information that's in your head is in the software. And that's why I'm concerned is just adding more customers. Yes, I've said sales fixes a lot of things, and it's true. But if you just dump a bunch more customers on you right now, you're going to be stressed out of your brains because you're keeping everything in your head. You've got to get that into software so that as the business scales and you add an employee, they can show up to Mr. Jones' house and know exactly how that lawn's supposed to be mowed based upon the notes, not because Trey talked to them and showed them how to do it.
Got it. Yeah.
So like right now you can kind of floating around that, 50 customer marker. Have you ever done any sort of like nothing like door hangers, nothing like that, really just kind of word of mouth, people getting to know you?
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. So like, in my mind, I really think, you have a good amount of money to change the business, like incredibly, right? I think the website, 100% you're right on. Doing door hangers, flyers, all of the rest of it. But the big thing is you're going to use the money, like I said, go hire someone before you need them, right? Know that, okay, I'm going to spend, let's just say $3,000 a month I'm going to spend on employee wages. Well, if I do that for 10 months, that's $30,000, which basically means I'm going to invest half that money in my mind, which I know they're going to bring in revenue. So it's going to cover some of that and most of it, more, hopefully more than that. But I'm going in my mind, say $30,000 is just that employee. Now I'm working with 30. Okay, well, what do I need to do at 30? Well, I'm going to get a website done. I'm going to get a lot of door hangers, yard signs. I'm going to use my logo. And now when people go to those places and go to my website, they're going to see I offer a whole bunch of other services. I'm going to allow, because of me having an employee, it's going to allow me the time to get all my customer data into Yardbook, into Lawn Pro, whatever one you choose. Like flip a coin, doesn't matter. Either one, right? Get your customers in that software. And now every month, send them an email. I'm doing mulch installs this month. Respond back, give me a call. Email us back if you'd like an estimate for mulch install. Email us back if you have sod install needs. Every single time you're going to get 2, 3, 4 estimates, spring cleanup, fall cleanup. That's all money in the bank. And that's where the profit is right now. Mowing is great, but if you can upsell a customer you've already sold, you don't have to pay any customer acquisition cost and upsell them a mulch install that you're 50% profitable on, that's the money.
Yeah. Now, what do you like with payroll and all that stuff? Because I mean, honestly, dude, down here, like half the employees, even for the bigger companies, I mean, we're in Florida, so half the employees are like, not really on the books, I shall say, or whatever. You know what I mean? And I mean, those are the good workers, though. So it's hard to work around that. But even payroll for myself, like I said, I sent this accountant information. I still haven't heard from her. It's like, how would you try to go in that direction towards like getting that situated?
Couple things.
Everything legit where I'm paying myself and all that,
Yep. So first thing is, don't ever think that like an accountant, for example, is going to change the business. That being said, we need their help, right? We just have to. The problem is today is tax day, and they're probably been smashed the past 4 to 6 weeks, right?
That's why I haven't bothered her.
Yeah, and like when you're small, like we're a small fish in their pond, right? And so it's a matter of, well, let's fix that. Let's get bigger, right? At the end of the day, if you started having 2 or 3, 4 employees, and she was running payroll for you every couple of weeks, and you became a client that was paying her a few $1,000s a year, she might move some things around for us, right?
But like for somebody like yourself, I know you use Augusta, and you probably like, I mean, stuff like that's like, should I pay that, or should I just go to Augusta where I can do it? I just have to figure out how to do it. But like you said, maybe it's best for me to just leverage it right now, or try to, have somebody else do it with everything I have going on.
Gusto's a great option though, right? Because like literally from day one, you're going to be paying what, $15-20 a month to run payroll. And it's extremely easy. You can get on the phone with them and they'll walk you through the whole process, right? So I like that. Take it into your own, like, don't wait for other people when you're small. Like when you want to grow and you have the money to grow, like do it. Just like you're going to go hire someone so that way when you come home, you have that extra hour to work on the business, putting stuff into Lawn Pro, marking things as complete, invoicing, sending out estimates, emails to your customers, offering more services, doing running payroll, right? And again, when you get to the point when you start getting all these customers, you're gonna raise prices because you're like, the reason you're not raising prices right now is because, hey, I don't know if I can replace them. I don't know if I can go get 5 or 10 more if a 5 or 10 leave. You fix that to where you're so confident in that lead flow, and there's no problem with you raising prices. You do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, that's what I want to do, because I'm already at the point, like I already have it like in my head. Everybody's getting price raise, especially with inflation and everything going on, because like some of the money, like I want to try to do stocks. I don't know. But I definitely want to raise prices. But like you said, you want to have those leads coming in, or and that's what I want. I want to get the phone ringing or customers are calling, and I can, work and just try to gain more customers at the same time. And, like you said, and I know like the trailer wrap and the website is the biggest thing right now. And then bringing on an employee who's so like, but with, like I said, with employees, how
do you find someone that's legal, but you can't find anyone that's legal?
Yeah.
So exactly. This is a matter. This is the thing. Like, do I think that's right? No. To like go higher. The bottom line is right now we gotta get started. Yeah. We know the end goal. Like if in your mind, like, hey, I want to run a legit business.
Yeah.
I want to pay my taxes. I want my employees to pay taxes, and I want to do this legit. Great. That's where we're going to. Right now, we need to go get somebody. We need to go find someone on Craigslist. We need to go find someone across the street. Do whatever. Let's roll. Make sure you're insured, and know that the end goal. Like once I get the job, I'm going. Like even if you say, hey, look, I'm gonna get one person. They're just gonna help me out. But then when I start getting second, third employee, I'm running payroll. These people have got to be legit, and that's gonna mean that I have to pay them $2, $3, $4 more per hour. But I should be able to afford that if I just raise my prices. Yeah. So it's like, hey, I'm going to go get someone now so I can really spend some time getting stuff into the new CRM. I can focus on getting door hangers out. I can focus on getting more customers. Because when you start doing that, you're going to have to do estimates now, right? You're going to have to spend some time doing estimates. And I'm going to do that now. And then by the time that I want this person full time, or by the time I get my second employee, I'm going to raise my prices. And the next day, everyone's going to be in payroll. and I run
Yeah.
this thing legit. I'd be okay with that, because most people, they in their minds like, oh, I can't find anyone that's legal. I want to run a legal business. So what do? Nothing.
And that's how I've been, And lately, like I said, I've been having a guy helping me, paying him $200 a day. But so I see what you're saying. Though. I understand from that perspective, and that because like me, I've always tried to do it right. Since I started, I've been licensed and insured. I've always, done things the right way. And I take to heart what you say. Like when you say, you want, I've listened to what you say.
And at the end of the day, again, that's something that's going to separate you from everyone else when you can put on your papers that everyone is licensed, insured, and your employees are all legal. That's a huge selling point, right? The bottom line is, like right now, the guy you have now is a short-term solution, and you got to use that to be able to grow to the point where you have confidence to go raise your prices, knowing that if you lose 5 or 10 people, no problem. I'm going to fill it up in a week.
Yeah.
Right now, we just don't have that confidence. But if you did that, you'd be able to afford the fact that you've got to pay someone now 20 or 22 instead of 17 or 18 cash.
Yeah, because I mean, this guy paid $200 a day. He's like a machine. He does whatever. I mean, he's like, right hand man. I mean, even though, it's just like and I always try to, like, if I bring him on, I'll try to do lawns and squeeze in a side job, at least, I don't like taking side jobs unless it's like $500 because, at least, because that's another thing is pricing,
So when you look at an estimate right now, how do you price it? Like for, let's say, cleanup.
So cleanup, like I did an estimate, I actually did it per man hour. So I'm estimating how many hours it's going to take, and I'm looking at it as $60 per man hour. So if me and the guy are there for an hour, $20. So we were there for 4 hours, and the job was $550. But we didn't start the job until like 3:30 in the afternoon. So we mow lawns all before that, So like we're quick on the lawns. It's just the route density out here is very not, I'm not route dense at all. I go from, this side of town all the way to, I go like a lot of miles, which I'm just doing what I got to do right now until I can squeeze in and break down what I need to do,
Yeah. So like, that's why partly, like, I think, the door hanger strategy is, because this is the thing, when you get a wrapped trailer like you're doing right now, the people that's going to impact the most is the neighbors of your existing customers, because they're going to now see who you are. You parlay that with a door hanger on their front door, and when they go to see your website, it looks really, really good. That's when you start getting route density, and it may be not necessarily in between customers. But now, instead of parking your truck and doing one house, you park your truck and do their house and the 3 other houses next door.
Yeah, and that's what, like, that I already know that's what they're looking for, because my quality is top of the line. I'll take the extra 2-3 minutes to give the customer that quality. On my card, it says the difference is in the details, So I take pride. I have a passion for, the industry and what I do. So that's very, I already know that's what a lot of people are looking for. The only thing is, like, and I don't really care, because I'm not going to go down. A lot of guys, they're just doing it to get by, or, they're comfortable, like, charging this rate or that. They don't, I'm trying to dig deep into it to the business perspective, to build a brand. So, and I feel like down here, you have to get there, you have to get into commercial, which that could happen over time, because, I worked for, $15 million commercial firm and stuff like that, but, which is way less profitable than probably you guys, but he's not in the field, and, but it's just difficult. Everybody cuts grass, everybody's price. Like, sometimes I'll be like, man, I overquoted this guy on a monthly service, maybe $10-$20, and they want to save that $10-$20 and go with this guy. And it's like, so it's like I contradict myself. I'm like, oh, should I just want, you know what I mean? But I'm learning now to just, I give my price, and my price is my price,
Yeah, and just realize that, like, the reason they're going to pay that higher price is because you do actually care, right? Like most people don't. They just want the money and they want to bounce. Like if you actually care, there's value to that in the way you take care of the customer. The bottom line is right now, if one of your customers wants to refer you or talk about you, they have a tough time telling anyone how to get a hold of you besides unless they know your number.
Yeah.
Right? There's not like, oh yeah, just go check out his website, All Pro Landscaping, whatever, go check them out online. They can't do that. Right? The neighbors don't know who mows your customers' lawns right now. They just see a truck pull up every week and guys hop out and mow the lawn. So a brand carries, like, there's a long-term play with branding, right? It's not like you get a brand like tomorrow you're getting a bunch of leads. A brand is where I get leads natively without having to spend advertising dollars, without having to do door hangers, without having to do anything like that. A brand just attracts clients. What's going to get me there, though, is getting some penetration when it comes to marketing, right? Getting where I have 3 or 4 customers in a neighborhood and they see my truck all over. That's going to get me branding. That's going to get awareness in that area, right? And then it needs to be that when they see your truck and they go online, it does look good. And they like, oh, I don't need mowing, but I need mulch services. And they offer that. And you're going to take the same customer right now that's paying $1,200 per year for mowing. They're going to do a fall cleanup and a spring cleanup. And now that $1,200 customer becomes $2,000. You could take the existing 50 customers you have, raise prices and add services, and easily double the amount of revenue you're making without getting a single new one.
I really want to, like, how would you say to figure out my numbers? Because I feel like if, like, say, like right now, my 50 customers, like I brought on a guy or two, and I try to put them in the field and I stayed, I wouldn't make any money. I guess that's just part of being in that stage.
Well, like right now, it looks like you're doing about 5,000 to 6,000 a month in revenue, give or take, based upon the month. Am I right? Do you think on that? Just guessing off the top of your head.
Well, I know 1 month was 5, 1 month was 8, 1 month was 9, but a lot of that, all that's coming right back out. I'm spending a lot of money, dude. I mean, I spend a lot of money just on food. I'm very picky. Like I eat like crazy. I've been trying to slow down.
Well, because right now, like the money you need personally is $3,500 a month. Let's round that up to 4,000. Let's assume you get really picky on your food. So the problem is right now you need 70% margins on your business just to get your personal life passed, like through, right? What that means is the business could be doing very well, doing 50, 60% profit margins, but it's just not big enough to accommodate your personal needs financially.
Yeah.
What we need to do is focus on growing the business. As long as you can grow that business without having to raise your personal expenses, you're good. Right now, though, your personal expenses are literally 60 to 70% of the revenue of the business. Yeah, of course, it's going to take most of the revenue needs to go to your person just to get personal expenses paid for. And of course, yeah, you can't afford an employee right now if the business doesn't grow.
I see. So just keep, I see, because like I'm like with the growth stages, that's when you sacrifice less margin. So then it's like more difficult to pay the personal because you got to sacrifice less margins to get into that growth stage. But I guess what you're saying is that's what you have to do, and you have to tighten down on budget and stuff like that.
Think about it like this. So if I, right now, without buying any more trucks, you keeping that same truck and trailer, you out and got a full-time employee and paid them $3,000 a month. There's no reason that between you and the other guy, you can't do $15,000 a month in revenue. No reason why, especially if you're charging $60 per hour. The math on that works out every day of the week. You can do easily $15,000 a month in revenue. Let's say though, now we got to take away his wages, right? So now we're from 15,000 down to 12,000. Well, let's assume that we run at 50% margin. Instead of the 70% margin that we're running at now, we're running at 50% because maybe we drive more or we got to get some more insurance, get some uniforms, whatever it might be. We're still at $6,000 net profit a month against our $4,000 personally that we need. Perfect. Right? Growth is where, like, your next, the employee that sticks with you right now is going to be the most efficient because you don't have to go get another truck. You don't need to get more storage. You don't have to get more insurance. They're just sitting with you in the truck, doubling almost your production every day. Right? You by yourself could easily do $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 a month in production. With another employee, you should easily be able to do 12 to 15. And by having that employee now, you're going to go home, you're going to have an extra 20, 30 minutes to spend putting that data into your CRM. And now when you do your route the next day, you're not going to waste 10 minutes driving around the block because you have the addresses, everything's routed and optimized correctly. You have job notes in there, and you're not going to be worrying about customers because you're going to email them all when you get slow and ask them for services.
So like how do you think I should try to figure out my numbers? Like you think I should like because like I mean I know somebody like you guys have everything down pat to where you know exactly what's going on. Like me, I don't like I'll do it in my head or write it down like okay, I charge this customer like how we just did it.
That's the problem. It's either in your head or on a piece of paper. It has to get in the software.
But in the software, will I be able to see like per customer what the numbers are on the? Because I thought that was only LMN, you know. That's why I was looking at LMN.
No, and honestly, 95% of the reports in LMN or Service Autopilot or Real Green and even Yardbook are not what you are going to be the key drivers of the business. Right now, I need you to know revenue. I need to know profit margin. I need to know dollars per hour on the job site. I need to know percentage of my revenue that's being wasted in drive time. Those are the numbers you need to know.
And figuring that out is just looking at everything and taking time to actually, I guess, like the drive time. Like, okay, if I say this property took 10 minutes, would I like write down 10 minutes drive time for that property or all that?
Some of it's pretty simple. So for example, let's say we work 10 hours in a day, and then we look at our software and it calculates all the budget hours on all our jobs was equal to about 8 hours, right? Actual budget hours on the job site, right? 8 hours worth of budget hours, all of our modes combined, like half an hour here, 45 minutes here, etc. And that was 8 budget hours that we completed. What that assumes, is that we have a 20% waste factor. We had to clock in for 10 hours and we only got 8 hours worth of work. 20% was waste. Drive time, unload time, gas, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's a matter of like, well, okay, great. That's all I need to know yesterday is I got budget hours versus clocked hours. I got 20% waste. Well, if I look at another route and I have 40% waste, maybe I need to think about raising my prices so I get more budget hours in the job, or maybe I have massive amounts of drive time and I need to consider losing some of those customers because I'm spending so much windshield time. So a lot of these numbers though come from having the data organized in a CRM to be able to look at your revenues month over month and know exactly what they're doing. To be able to know, okay, well, last year and the year before that in the month of November, I made X amount. I expect it's going to be going up based upon this. I can see it on my graphs. Don't overcomplicate numbers. We need to know our revenue. We don't know what we're doing with revenue. We don't know what we're doing with when we look at $200 per day we're giving that person. We don't know what our end result like right now. If you go out for a day, how much do you think you make in revenue with the two of you working?
Like, dude, like right here, it did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 properties. And I would average those to be like one, because all these are over 100. They're like 120, 130, 140. So I would they're like 125.
Do you think maybe like, let's assume like $40 cut, you think?
No, 35.
Okay, so let's do 35. So we do 35 times 18. Grab my calculator so I don't mess it up. 35 by 18. So we did $630 in revenue, right? And let's assume that we pay you 200 and him 200. Okay. So the wages on this job are going to be $400. Okay. So if we $400, which is our wages, and we divide that by 630, it means that 63% of our revenue is going to wages. That's too high. We want that between like 40 is where I want that to be or below. But even if I get it under 50, that would be a good thing, right? I would imagine a lot of that is caused by drive time.
Yeah.
you probably have inefficient routes. That being said, when you start selling more customers, that 63% can dramatically decrease because one, you get the jobs done faster, i.e. reducing your labor costs, or two, you increase the amount of revenue you do in the same exact amount of time, which again is going to bring that percentage down. So a lot of the numbers, knowing your numbers comes down to one thing, like knowing how much revenue you made yesterday, right? And that's a little more difficult because you're doing monthly contracts, but still being able to look at a month and say, okay, I made $6,500 in revenue. I had to pay X amount in payroll. All of those things need to be, those numbers need to be there. Those are data points for all the other numbers we have to talk about, right? So focus more on the data points right now. How much did you spend in labor? How much did you get in wages? Or sorry, how much did you earn in revenue? How much you spend for labor or wages? Those are the input data points we need for all the other numbers. If we don't have those, there's really there's nothing else. You know, having fancy graphs in LMN isn't going to do you any good.
Got it. Let me know whenever you gotta go, man, because I know you're busy and stuff.
It's okay. I got 2 more minutes for I got my next call, so you're good.
What do you like the personal life, like, cause like I've burnt myself out the past few years, and it's like my daughter and stuff, like how like, cause it seems, I know you work, but it's like, do you like especially with the past addiction issues and stuff, I try not to do certain things because it leads to other things and stuff, but like I'm learning, like even recently, like I have to kind of live and, you know, and still enjoy my life and not try to, oh, I can't spend money here, I can't go enjoy it, you know, even I don't have no friends, so I don't really do much. Like I played poker last night at the dog track, gambled, you know, and just certain stuff. Do you feel like that's okay? Because I feel like from listening to you guys and certain people, it's like that will deter my success, but then it's like talking to somebody else, like you gotta live your life as well as business, because if you don't live your life, you're basically dead. You know what I mean?
Yeah, only you can determine what that balance is and what you need to be happy. If you need to go do that to be happy, anyone telling you otherwise is only going to make you very miserable, right? The bottom line is you might have to sacrifice some things in the short term if you want those other things in the long term. You might have to, give up some evenings, weekends, little things that you want to spend money on for the short term, so that in the long term you can have those things forever.
Well, that's the thing. I've been doing that for years. I've worked 7 days a week for 3-4 months straight last year, and all it did was burn me out. You know,
but we've been playing defense. We've been having you work all day long without growing the business.
Yeah, I got you.
Now, the 60 grand is your permission to go on the offense.
Got you.
I'd stay away from gambling like a 10-foot pole with $60,000 in your pocket. You got to take this money. Like, this is money that will triple or quadruple this business, no doubt. There's no reason to go under $20,000, $30,000 a month in revenue with that kind of money behind you. None. A website is going to cost you what? Even if you did lawn care web design, which I know is expensive compared to other people, $400 a month. Like, we're at from $6,000. A few months of that, we're down to $58,000, right? Like, you have a lot of money to really turn the business around and go on the offensive. The reason we haven't in the past is because you've been sucking the business dry because personally you need the money. Not to say that you've been spending it badly. $4,000 is not like you're spending it lavishly. It's a matter of the fact that you need to live and you got to provide for your daughter. Now you have the opportunity to go on the massive offensive, grow top line revenue, and then actually be able to have some difference between what you need for personally and what the business is making.
Got it. And then I got a Ford F-150 long bed. I pay $500 a month, and I'm always taking stuff. A lot of guys don't do this, but I always pick up debris, tree branches and stuff, so I'm always loading my truck up. I'm at the point where I want to try to get a Zuzu for like maybe 35, 40 if I could keep the payment the same, or maybe $100 more. Do you think that is because I'm always unloading the bed of the truck because it's my only vehicle to go home, and putting it in my dump trailer because I have a dump trailer too. So do you think it's a good idea to try to maybe work on that, especially with the money that I have, to be maybe more efficient, or maybe just take it one day at a time.
If I was you, I'd do this. I would focus, number one, on getting more customers. Number two, on an employee. On your second employee, that's when I go get another truck. Because there's always gonna be other trucks. Getting another truck, you got 60 grand. You get a truck tomorrow. You know, what you can't go get tomorrow is great customers, great employee. Those are the harder things. Most people 60 grand, what do? They go buy another truck. Why? It's easy, right? It's a lot harder to go build a website, get your logo, create a brand, get customers, go get an employee, and then like, oh, now I need a truck. And guess what? You go get one tomorrow. Go overpay by 2 or 3 grand so you can get one right now.
Yeah. So okay. So this guy, he's sending, like, the guy who's doing the website. He sent me these things, but it's like it's not what I want. You know, and he made a domain for me. How does that work? Like, say I wanted, because I don't know what to do, dude. Like, I don't want to diss the guy, but it's like I like to, you know, I'm very picky on stuff, and I want to stand out. So, you know, especially talking to you, I'm probably gonna end up going with you guys.
This is the thing. If you used us for a year or two and you want to go do your own thing, just go do it. I don't care if you use us or him or whoever. You got to realize though that right now, if creating a website is going to separate you from the pack and allow you to spend significant amount more money, we should not be coughing over $400 a month. You do that for an entire year, it's $4,800, right? That's a lot of money. But in that year, we can completely change this business. You have $60,000.
Yeah, man, this is life changer, dude.
So we got to be smart about it though, because you could blow 30 of that tomorrow on a nice Isuzu truck.
No,
guess what?
I'm not gonna. No.
I'm just saying it's possible, right? We're not going to, but it's possible. That's not going to move the business forward. What's going to move the business forward is you figuring out systems. And the way that's going to happen is by giving you some more time on your hands to do that. And that's going to come about by having an employee.
So with all this information you're telling me, like, I can't talk to somebody like you every day. So how do you feel like to be able to try to gain insight or perspectives? Because like I said, I had nobody to talk to, and I just can't do everything myself. I have to have somebody to talk to, like a friend, a business, you know what I mean? Like, how do you feel like, because I want to like, and I got my buddy, he's a realtor. He said he'll help me with budgeting and stuff. So I don't know, man. I'm just lost.
But this is the thing. This is the thing with the beautiful thing about the internet is you don't need to talk to other people. I don't know anyone in my family that's a millionaire. I never had a mentor. I never talked to a business owner that is locally.
You're a genius.
No. Like, that all came from listening. It's plugging yourself in all day long. Instead of listening to the radio or music, you're listening to podcasts. You're listening to books. You're learning about Facebook ads.
Yeah. Well, that's.
I didn't know how to run Facebook ads. I dedicated 4 months to learning how to run Facebook ads. You can do that. You don't need someone to do that for you.
Now, do you when you? I know you got to go. Sorry.
You're good.
Do you have a cutoff time at night when you kind of just unwind and relax? I know it's kind of personal, but
I personally don't.
Seems like you're like a machine, dude. Like, you never stop. And I mean, I know it's like because you're always progressing, is like that's what keeps you going, you know, which I want, the kind of state I want to be in, you know what I mean? But I feel like I try to do so much, especially with all the work, but I guess that I just, you know, at night it's like I want to do something, but it's like I can't, you know.
Just the thing is, like, you're not me and I'm not you, right? Like, you got to do what's right for you. If you try to be me, you're going to mess up. You're going to burn yourself out, right? If I try to be you, I'm going to mess up. I'm going to burn out. You can't compare yourself to me or anybody else. That's the advantage of not having someone that you do emulate, like a mentor, is you don't take everything they say as gospel truths, because it's not for you. For you, it's different. You might need to have a time that you say, hey, I'm done. Like my brother, literally blood related to me, he has to have a certain time he cuts off and he's no more work, right? Yeah. For me, I would die, right? I want to work like that. I want to have the drive and I want to keep going and building and growing. And there's time I burn myself out. Last weekend, man, I burnt myself. I got cold sores the whole night, had to say, and I stepped back. It's just being self-aware. Like, look, there's gonna be times you're gonna work 80, 100 hours in a week and be like, let's go. I can keep doing this. There's gonna be times you work 40 or 50 and you're just like, I'm drained. Just don't beat yourself up. You're
Yeah.
just trying to do the best you can.
Yeah.
And especially everything you've gone through, there is no like you're doing a bad job. Like, my goodness, you're a parent, you're a business owner, like you completely turn your life around. Like, there is no comparison. So the fact that you have $60,000 to turn your business around in that year, year and a half, to learn from podcasts and Audible books, like, you have the money, go spend $500 and buy 80, 90, 100 Audible programs that are going to keep you for the entire year that you can listen to out in the field. That will change your life.
Well, no, I do that all the time. I already have like 30 books on I mean, I'm very spiritual and stuff like that. I'm, self-improvement. So I'm big on that. That's all I do. I try to balance it a little bit, listen to music sometimes, but I'm always learning in YouTube. I mean, I listen to all Keith, Brian, all those guys.
Now the thing is, you have the 60,000 to go implement some stuff, right? You've heard about building a website before. You've heard about wrapping your truck. You've heard about making uniforms, creating a brand. You have $60,000. Like, we have franchisees that with less than 20,000 are like, he started in February. He had 20. He's already doing $16,000 a month in revenue. Didn't have a lot of money. Like, you now have the money to go on the offensive. So it's a matter of, hey, I got a plan. I know what I'm going to do, and just execute now.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. Like 5 minutes. Sorry.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I appreciate it a lot, dude. This is a big help, man. I mean, that's pretty much it, I think. Just the website, the trailer, and just like you say, go offense. And that's what I've been doing. I've been waiting on this guy with the website, but I'm at the point now where because I know it's going to take a couple weeks with you guys, but I'm ready to push, man. I'm ready to push and get into that stage. I want to, get out of the field and start maneuvering and do more.
So do you have a paper and pen with you?
Yes.
Let's figure out how you're going to spend the 60, because we need to have a plan for that. All right. So let's assume right off the bat that whether you use us or someone else, that we're going to spend $5,000 for the website, right? Whether you go build it or whether we do it, doesn't matter. Let's just assume $5,000 just for the sake of writing it down. Then we got to go and do a bunch of print marketing, right? Let's assume we're going to go spend we're going to go high. Let's do 1,500. I don't think you're going to need 1,500, but let's say we do 1,500 on print marketing. Okay, so this is going to be door hangers, yard signs, business cards. You're going to actually become, looking professional.
I already have fast signs. Like they already sent me the drafts of it. So my trailer is going to look beautiful. I already have it. The only thing I'm waiting for is that website, so all that can connect.
How much is the trailer at?
Like 3,500.
And then what color is your truck painted right now?
Maybe 4,000. 4,000 for the trailer. The truck I'm not gonna paint because I use it for business and to go home and stuff. And I live in an apartment, so I don't want to deal with that headache.
Gotcha. Okay. So we got the trailer wrap, we got print marketing, we got the website. All right. So now we are going to go hire an employee, and let's go ahead and assume that 100% of their wages is going to come out of the 60 grand. Obviously, they're going to earn money, and that's not going to be the case. But for the sake of being super conservative, let's assume that for the next 10 months, we're paying someone $3 grand a month, and that's $30,000. So literally $30,000 we're going to go spend on an employee. And again, by having them, they should be able to make more money for us. But let's just assume they're 100% cost. Okay, we still got 20,000 left. So now it's a matter of, okay, I have got a full-time employee. I'm starting to do marketing. I have my website up. Now what's happening is I got a bunch of customers that are coming in. I've got to go get another truck set up. That's where we're going to spend the next 20 grand on, in the whole other truck, et cetera. Go ahead.
I'm probably gonna buy my dad's old truck. He has like a 2002 Chevy, but I mean, I can give him like $1,000 for it. And worst case scenario, I put a brand new motor in it for 3,000. It's still gonna, so I'm gonna probably do that and just paint it. I've told him I was gonna do it. It's still sitting in the yard, so that's probably.
So let's say by the time we get it, we put a new motor and we paint it. We're looking at 10 grand. Let's just round up, right? Let's say 10 grand. Probably not even half that, but let's just assume By the time
Yeah.
we get it, put a motor in it, paint the thing, we're looking at 10 grand. We still got another 10 grand for equipment. That is going to come in the form of a mower, your trimmers, your blowers, and everything you need for a second setup. And that's going to be when you get a second employee. We're now talking about a business that has you, 2 employees, 2 trucks, 2 trailers, and you're off to the races. That is a business that can easily do 20 to 30,000 a month in revenue.
Yeah. See, I was looking at it from the perspective is like I get a guy with me or 2 with me and I try to max that. But you're saying once you get,
once you get a full-time employee, you got a website and all the print marketing, within 3 months, you're going to need another truck. Like you're going to be maxed out. You're not going to be able to reach all your houses. You're going to be at 80, 90 mowing customers by the end of the summer.
okay.
That will be natural demand. Don't plan on like, oh, I've got to go buy a truck at a certain time.
Well, no,
We're keeping this money dry. We're keeping the powder dry so that when that time comes, we have the money.
Yeah, I'm just thinking because the only thing is I want to make sure that first truck is profitable. You know what I mean? With especially like you said with the 60% on this route I told you, that's not there's no second truck with that. So so once I get to that 80, 90, make sure it's profitable first too, right?
That being said, every single mowing customer you get from now on is going to be within that same radius that you're currently operating in. And if you went from 40, 50 mowing customers to 100, you're driving half the amount of time between every single property now. Because you're not going to drive further now to get more they're already inside your territory. You're just passing them right now.
Well, yeah, because I go through the whole county, so it's anywhere's my radius pretty much,
So anywhere where you get customers is not any more windshield time. You're already driving past their house.
Yeah.
Just by adding more customers, your how much drive time you have on a route is going to decrease because now you have more properties on that route. Instead of driving 20 miles, you're going to drive 5 or 6 and get the same amount of properties done.
Yeah. Yeah, and I wrote this down. I got a whole page of what I was going to do with that money too, the same way you had it. So I appreciate it, man. I appreciate the help a lot, dude.
You got it. So, whether you use us or not for the website, don't care. It needs to happen though. And it needs to be then followed up with a really good print marketing strategy, doing door hangers, and then learning while you're outside how to run Facebook and Google ads, not rocket science. You watch a YouTube video. Once you have a website that you can drive traffic to and know that it's going to look good and people are going to think you're a professional, once that's there, trust me, you go on how to create a Facebook ad, look for most recent video, like that it's going to be actually current where the buttons are all at because they move things around all the time. You're going to be able to set up an ad, no problem.
And then the CRM, that's another thing I'm gonna dig there. I guess I'm shooting for Yard Book. So you said definitely work on that.
Flip a coin. Yard Books, Lawn Pro, either one. Yeah, Yard Book is free to get started. It's pretty simple. Go for it.
And then just shoot all the customers email, say, hey, listen, this is a new, way we're doing things. And I'm also trying to get everybody credit card on file because people pay me crazy, like 2 weeks late. People just pay when they want. I got to text them. I'm working on that too.
When you raise your professionalism, they'll raise their standards too, right? So if you're invoicing them on a specific day, if you're really specific about what's going on, they will match that, right? And then guess what? When we get that second truck and we've depleted all this funds, what we're going to do is we're going to email them all and say, prices are going up. And you're not going to be afraid of that because you're going to have so many leads coming in from the website by then.
So you think I should hold on raising prices right now and get everything situated?
I would wait until you have lead flow because right now you can't afford to lose 10 customers. It would personally be damaging to your finances. What you need to do is go get more customers, get the flow of customers coming in. People come from your website. If you're starting to get 1-2 leads a day from your website, you're not going to be concerned about raising your prices. You're going to have so much confidence that, hey, if I raise my price and I lose 10, 15 people, no problem. I'm going to fill that back up in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Got it, man. Hey, man, I appreciate the insight, man. Very helpful, dude. You're the best.
You got it, brother. We'll stay in touch. I know the guys are going to ask me, is it okay if they use some of this stuff, this video? They'll probably like it to share with some young guys. For sure.
Also, I'm definitely going to get back with you probably within the next month or two, just so I can get some more insight, man. Keep doing what you're doing, man. You're a blessed man, dude.
I appreciate it, brother. Have a great rest of your evening.
All right, you too, man. Take care now.
Take care.
Bye.